My default for all my videos is I always have the urge to just sing. I don't know why. It's like it's my brain's way of thinking. Like, sing a song and your brain will work properly. What's up, you guys? I am back with a wrap-up video for you. I don't remember where I left off in my wrap-ups or what books I talked about, so we're just gonna go into the books that I haven't talked about. And yeah, I listened to the audiobook of I Can't Make This Up by Kevin Hart. I ended up giving this 3.5 stars. I'm gonna read you exactly what I put on Goodreads. So it says, this was way too damn long. Too much ad-libbing and not enough getting to the damn point and lesson of each story. Maybe the one time in history of my listening to audiobooks that I'd wish I'd read a physical copy instead. So it would have been really, 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 really good. But I think the audiobook was like 11 hours. I have never listened to a memoir audiobook that was 11 hours. There's no reason that shit should have been 11 hours. 3.5 stars. It could have easily been 4.5, but he just needed to shut the fuck up. Then I read Paper Girls Volume 2. Y'all know I love the artwork. I'm going to continue with this. Brian K. Vaughn is like, that's my dog. This series is about paper girls. These girls who deliver the paper, and then one day some crazy shit happens. And Volume 2 was kind of weird and a little bit confusing. I still gave it 4 stars. I'm really excited to get into book number 3. Then I listened to the audiobook of Furiously Happy by Jenny Lawson. It's just basically a book of her talking about just a lot of random shit. And I ended up giving this book 3 stars. It started off as a 4.5 star book. But like Kevin Hart, she just kept talking. And I was just like, okay, I'm done. Then I read Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, which is a sci-fi book that I gave 4 stars to. I was extremely, 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 extremely impressed. I always have a problem with time travel in books because if the world is our world, they tend to ignore all laws of physics and all things that make any modicum of scientific sense when authors do time travel. And I'm like, dog, did you do research? Like, you come on. However, this guy, Blake Crouch, I fucks with you. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. It's kind of a play on the Schrodinger's cat and how you choose your destiny and all kinds of choices. And it's like more philosophical than it is scientific, but it was freaking awesome. 4 stars, go read it. Then at my job, because we don't do shit, I read out loud to my coworkers The Diabolic by S.J. Kincaid. I ended up giving this book 3 stars. I honestly would have DNF'd it if I were not reading it out loud to my coworkers. It's about a diabolic and some shit happens. Then I read The Arab of the Future, which is a graphic memoir. It was originally written in French. I'm looking at this phone because look. It tells the unforgettable story of Riad Sattouf's childhood spent in the shadows of 3 dictators, Muammar Gaddafi, Hafez al-Assad, and his father. His father, whew, that man got on my last morasoke nerves. But more than him getting on my nerves was the mom getting on my nerves. Toting her children from country to country. You know what? That ain't my business. Anyway, I ended up giving this graphic novel 3 stars. The artwork annoyed me a little bit, but as I got into the story, I love how perfect the artwork fits with the tone of the story. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, I gave it 3 stars. I would absolutely recommend it. Go check it out if you have it at your library. Then Eli and I read Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is the story of a girl who her mom was babysitting this little girl, and the little girl ends up dead. The daughter, who was 9, goes to prison for the murder of the baby while the mother stays free. When I first read this book, I really liked it a lot. Matter of fact, I gave it 4 stars. Upon reflection, I don't think that the author did any type of fucking research. I don't think the author did research into the justice system. I don't think the author did research into mental health enough. I think this author saw a bunch of Law and Order SVUs and threw a fucking book together. So much information in this book doesn't make sense or is incorrect that is pissing me off. And I don't know what the fuck I was thinking before. She just wrote some shit and then had a book. And I'm just so mad. Like, I got bamboozled because I got sucked into the story. I got sucked into its craziness. And then I just can't. I would recommend this book just to see what everybody has to say about it. That's it. I had a goal this year to listen to a lot of audiobooks. That was one of my goals. The other goal was to read a lot of books by brown authors. I'm failing on the brown author goal, but the audiobook goal, I'm doing my damn job. The next book that I read was The Fact of a Body. It is a memoir and a murder mystery story, sort of, by Alexandria Marzano-Lesnevich. It starts off, she's a lawyer. She's out of law school. She goes to this firm in Louisiana. One of the first cases, not a case that she takes, but that she has to do research on or something. I don't remember why she had to look into the case. The case is of Ricky Langley, who was convicted of the murder of Jeremy Guillory, who was a young boy. It's telling the story of her life in juxtaposition to the story of Ricky's life and the surrounding of the murder. And Ricky Langley was a known sex offender, and yet he was boarding with these people who had kids, and they're trying to figure out whether or not he molested the child before he killed the child, after he killed the child, or at all. And it's also telling her story and her issues of sexual abuse, and it was just so well written. Like, I want to read it again, even though, like, the details are gruesome, and I cried in parts, and I was disgusted in parts, and I was angry in parts. I loved it. I freaking loved it, and 5 stars. 5 stars. I just had one critique. Being that I live in Louisiana, Melancon is not Melancon. It is Melanson. So, say it right. Then I read Exit West by Mohsin Hamid. Gave this book 2 stars. On Goodreads I wrote, I am Confucian. Snooze fest. Don't read it. Then I read Young Jane Young by Gabrielle Zevin. I thought this book was going to be good. 'Twas not. I thought it was going to go one way, and it completely went another way, but the direction that it went in, I didn't like. So I was like, I ain't got time for this book. So I was like, 2 stars. Don't read it. I had requested this book. I didn't like it. No. Then I listened to the audiobook by Roxane Gay, Hunger, a Memoir of My Body, which is read by Roxane Gay. And some of the sexual abuse issues that she has were touched on in Bad Feminist, if I'm not mistaken. But this book talks about all that. When I finished listening to the book, I did not rate this book because this is what I wrote on Goodreads. I don't know how to separate how I feel about the content of this book and how I feel about the contents of this book. I'm still at that point. I don't know if I'll ever not be at that point, but 100,000,000% recommend this book. Then I listened to The Blood of Emmett Till by Timothy B.Tyson. This book, I mean, the title speaks for itself. It is talking about in depth the Emmett Till case, and it goes over like case notes and stories, and it is trying to get to the bottom of it. And the thing that I hate and love the most about it is it never really does, because people are so unreliable. The fact is, they murdered that boy and got away with it, but what really happened that day that he went in the store, between him and that, I want to call this woman all kind of things out of her name, but I'm not going to do that. But what happened between them, we will never really know, because her old ass don't even fucking know. It took me so long to listen to this audiobook because it was bubbling. Like, it was, I was just getting so aggravated. And the thing that was bothering me the most is when it talked about some stuff that I had not heard about, some of the assassinations of the political figures, and just how shit was dealt with. And it just made me want to cry, because I was, not because I was sad, but because I was just so fucking mad. Ugh. And then just the thought that some of these motherfuckers is still alive and still in positions of power. Bruh. Moving on. Then I had a buddy read with Derby from Derby Lane Reads, and we read A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. This book is about this girl who already knows she's a witch. Plot twist. She knows she's a witch, but she's denying her powers, and then some stuff happens. She meets this mysterious character. I don't know if they say what kind of character it is in the synopsis, so I'm not going to tell you, but she meets a mysterious character, and then all hell breaks loose and some shit happens. I ended up giving this book 3.5 stars. I think I said something on Goodreads like it was a little scattered. It was very heavy on the love, not heavy enough on the magic. It did give me enough to want to read the second book. However, my continuation of the series is dependent on the second book. So if the second book sucks, then I will not be reading the third book. Does that make sense? Of course it does. So that was the last book of the wrap up. Follow me on Goodreads, guys. You will get way more up-to-date stuff, because I'm always on Goodreads while I'm reading and typing random ass stupid silly shit about the books and about stuff that the characters are saying and all that good stuff. So I will link all that down below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below in my belly, and I'll talk to you guys later.